Welcome back to Self Revelations Podcast. It's your boy B-Dab.
And I am Juan Moreno.
Juanavelli, man. How you feeling? How you been this past week?
Man, I've been great. Everything's going good. You know, just like I'm starting to do this thing too. I'm like starting to like incorporate like because of this podcast, like to study things from like week to week, whether it's like a philosophy, an idea, health, or a way of basically it's like self-help, like ways to better myself within what I'm currently doing with whether it's my job, whether it's being a better friend, whether it's being a better brother, being a better, spouse in a relationship, like just be a better person, basically what I'm trying to do. So I'll try to study those things or even try to increase my health. So right now I've been kind of looking into the perception of time, like not doing things always based off of a deadline. Obviously you want to have a deadline for certain things and then it'll help you complete it and get it done, but to also let go of a deadline when it comes to like success. So you have to have like a balance of time, also not getting caught up in the perception of time, because in reality there really is no time when it comes to like reaching a certain point, or in case you have a timeline. But it's kind of like trees, animals. There's no fucking time. It's just night and day. And like they're not thinking about 5-10 years or whatever. Like I'm starting to let go of like not judging myself too much if I don't get it at this moment, but like just continuing to plant the seeds so I can reach that destination through hard work, persistent, consistent, and letting my fruits of labor come to fruition when the time comes by just doing those things every day. So that's kind of what I've been studying and looking into and testing my ideas and looking at my life and seeing like things that I quit or I didn't pursue because of whether it was how I was feeling at that moment or whether it was I wasn't getting the gratification right now, so I just kind of gave up. So that's what I've been doing, studying myself when it comes to time and time itself.
Yeah. Do you think it's quite common for like people to give up on their things based on how they feel like at that immediate moment, or if it's not, stimulating to them anymore? Like if they're pursuing something, it might be a sport or, maybe it's music or whatever. Do you think a lot of people tend to give up on their dreams?
Yeah, I think people sometimes get caught up too much into their head of like not getting what the results like day one or day two or even a month or a year. And sometimes, life happens. So that's why a lot of people aren't consistent, because life is always going on, like every day really is a new day. And sometimes, you have things that happen or thoughts or patterns that you have created throughout your whole life that causes you to stray away from something that you really are passionate about or you believe. And especially for people who like don't have a foundation or didn't have like that guidance. And some people who like are super consistent, like you are one person. Like I had texted you yesterday because I was like I was editing a clip. I just seen how persistent you are, how consistent you are, and the things that you're doing. Like you've been doing this for years now, and I'm just, for me, it's like for you might not even think about it, or maybe you do, but from the outsiders might not even catch it. But I'm a type of person where I try to like study people, or maybe I think differently compared to the other person. I mean, everybody else does. But I'll catch on to things that a lot of people don't see. So like when I was listening to you on the podcast, when I was editing, I was kind of like, oh man, like he's been doing the same thing consistently like for years. And I'll try to think like, what is it that keeps him there? Or what is it that, was it the foundation? Like his family helped him get there. He realized it within himself. Like that's a question you can answer. But like that right there is kind of what people don't have, because they didn't have either supportive people around them. They were caught up in the gossip of like their family and friends telling them all this and questioning them, and they were already vulnerable and doubting if they want to pursue what they want to pursue. And then the people from the outside noise would get in too much. I feel like that's something that's not really talked about too when it comes to people that don't pursue their dreams. Like the outside noise does get to you, like especially if you're not really sure if that's what you want to do, because everybody has like a little bit of self-doubt sometimes. And sometimes when you're trying to be open about it and you're open to the wrong person, they could shut down that idea, and that could have been actually your true pathway. And the fact that somebody who you trusted or loved or that's near you all the time tells you that that's dumb. Like, you shouldn't do it. That's not going to last. That's only 1 out of a million people do it. Like, you think you're going to do it, and then you start to, like, create that idea that, you know what, maybe there's something else I can do. And that's what I feel sometimes a part of that destroys people's dreams or pursuits.
Yeah, projecting their limitations on you. Like, this isn't a reality in their head, so they're like, okay, you can't do it because I can't. You know what I'm saying? So that does, and it hurts a lot of, a lot of people. It can be like, I know one episode we talked about, like, even like little kids, like, you putting your limitations on them can stunt their growth, like, later on in their life. It can both benefit them or it could help them. If you telling them, like, you can be whatever you want to be versus you can't do that, you'll never be anything. That's too, that's two different things. Two different ends of the spectrum that can harm and help. So, but yeah, like, a lot of people project, and it's hard to come across people that want to influence, you or the people around them. That's why, like, me personally, I appreciate, like, running into people that are like that, or positive-minded people, open-minded and positive-minded people. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, everybody goes through stuff. You know what I mean? You can't control how somebody's gonna react to something, but you appreciate someone who's like, okay, today, might not have been the best day, but I woke up. I still, I'm able to walk. I have all my limbs. I, have a roof over my head. I have clothes on my back. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? You have to appreciate that type of people. That's the type of people I want in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm down and maybe I'm not in that mindset, I know, I have people like that can pick me up. You know what I'm saying? In a way. You feel me?
What are some of the things that you believe that kept you consistent? Whether do you think it was your family? Like, examples are, like, what I hear from a lot of people are, my family encouraged me to do the things that I ended up now being passionate about. At first, I just wanted to play football because I played at recess, or I had my uncle or my cousins that played football, and I watched football, so that made me get into football. And then my family encouraged it, and then boom, here I am 20 years later still playing football. Like, what do you think, when you think about it right now, what is it that you feel kind of helped you be consistent on that path when others don't?
I just always have loved football, so watching it at an early age, I think that's what sparked, like, my interest for it. And then actually playing it, I just fell in love with it because it was fun, bro. I'm like, what? Like, I get to knock people in the ass. Like, I get to score touchdowns. Like, this is lit. This ain't like, basketball. This ain't like, hockey or anything like that. Like, that was the first thing that I really picked up. And yeah, I like, other sports. I like all sports for real, but football was the main one that like got me. And I'm like, man, this is dope. And, just like the lessons you learn from football, you know what I mean? You have to do your 111 or else the whole team can be affected. You know what I'm saying? And it just ties so much into everything else that as I learned, like, throughout time, once I got to play Pop Warner, and then I went to high school, learning from high school, and then high school to the junior college to 4-year to professional. Like, there's messages in every level of, sports. Like, I can't, like, if I'm messing up, pointing the finger don't do nothing for nobody. You got to look internally, take accountability, and get better for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, this weekend we just got, blown out. We just got beat bad. You know what I'm saying? I could sit here and make all the excuses in the world, like, oh, well, this, and that, and oh, they didn't do this, they didn't run this play, that play. And at the end of the day, we flat out lost. I had to be better. You know what I'm saying? If I get 2-3 picks, we're in that game. You know what I'm saying? So, and not pointing the finger, taking accountability. Okay, this play I could have played better, instead of being like, oh, this guy is the reason that this happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so many lessons within, like, sports in general, with football. You know what I mean? Like, it really makes you, like, realize, like, how much it ties into the real world, family wise or business wise. Like, it's a team, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. The main thing that drew me to it was like, bro, it's just like, I just fell in love with it. Like, it was just something, like, out of all the sports I played, like, football was just the one. You know what I'm saying? It's like hard to explain.
Mm-hmm. No, I think you explained it pretty well. I was thinking too, like I'm gonna make this more like a broader question because I wanted to like not only relate to like the athlete mindset, but also even the regular 9 to 5 human being mindset as well. When you see that, you're in a team, whether it's at a job, whether it's on a football field, whether it's on a basketball court, and let's say you're doing your job. Yeah, there's things you could work on, and you acknowledge it and you're aware of it. Your coaches might even bring it up to you, but you're like, I know, like I got it. Like I'm gonna work on this. I know what I need to do to be better at this. And let's say you're doing your job in a game or when the pressure's on, and then you see like, let's say fellow players on the other team that might not be very aware, or maybe sometimes don't take it serious, or maybe their way of like, they made it this far, they're just happy with where they're at and they don't want to excel. Because I know a lot of people even at my job that they're okay, they're content with where they're at. Well, I don't even know if they're really content because they complain. So I feel like if you're content with where you're at, you don't complain. So, and you see people that not take it serious, or like they don't care, but then yet they want the opportunity to get paid more because they're there, but yet they don't even fucking do half of the shit that you do because you put in the time in. And you see other players that are well more deserving than the certain talkers that they want the opportunity and stuff like that. How do you manage yourself knowing that I'm doing my job, doing everything I can to try to help the team, and I'm going to work on the things that I've seen that I slipped up in the game, and then you see other people that aren't maybe putting in their 100% effort? How do you stay composed, and how do you not blame people?
Well, first of all, you have to have tunnel vision on yourself. So it has to be elevation from yourself. So you gotta evaluate what's in the mirror. You gotta look in the mirror. Okay, what did I do? How can I improve? I gotta do this and that. That's in the football field or in the workforce. Okay, what can I do to improve? Okay, I'm working on this. Because you can influence people by two different ways: by actions or by inspiring them. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm more of a through actions type of guy. So if they see, maybe I make a mistake week 1, week 2, I don't make that same mistake, and I'm better. Week 3, I'm eating. They see the fruits of my labor. Like, oh, this guy has been working this whole time, and he's getting the opportunities that might inspire them to maybe want to work harder. Or maybe he shuts his mouth and goes to work every single fucking day and does not complain. Let me actually shut my mouth and try to work and see where that goes. And if they don't do it, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, people are going to either be stuck in their ways. Like, you're either going to get better or you're going to get worse. So if they're not working to improve, or maybe they're not in the right headspace to improve, bro, you can't force nobody. You know what I'm saying? You can give them words of encouragement. You can't, force a horse to drink the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like, through actions, that speaks volumes, in any setting or anything like that. Because I'm sure in a lot of settings, like, you lead by example, especially with your, you're the oldest of 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they look at you and see how you're going in life and how you are and how you move, not only in front of the camera but off the camera. Because I know you are, and I am too. I'm the same person off camera or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not putting on no personality. You feel me? Like you said, like that last week, like, it's in me, not on me. You feel me? Like this shit is like a lifestyle. So, like, basically being a leader through actions, it speaks volumes.
That was beautifully said. What do you feel like you feel more, or what maybe impacts you more when it comes to wins and losses? As in, what I'm trying to say is that what lingers longer, or what maybe makes more of an impact, where you learn and you do more?
I don't like to say that, because I used to be in the mindset of saying, like, losses teach me more, but at the same time, bro, winning games teach you a lot too. Because I don't know how other people like prepare, like, or or anything like that, but even in wins, I'm looking for stuff like, okay, I did this wrong. I need to work on that. I did this wrong. Work on that. Losses, okay, I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, it's the same kind of like preparation for me. There's always like room for growth. I don't care if I had a perfect game, A plus grade. No, I there's somewhere I can improve. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. Far from it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like once you really tap into that that mindset, and you really humble yourself and be like, okay, let me look at every single detail. Oh, did I break off the wrong foot to go to this route? Oh, did I put the wrong hand up? Oh, did I give up a catch? Did I miss a tackle? Did I put my head on the wrong side during a tackle? There's a whole bunch of details that you can always change or improve in your game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I was thinking about too. I was thinking about like, how for you have to like level up in competition.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to get to the NFL, if you want to get to the NBA, if you want to be a CEO, if you want to be an executive, if you want to be the next step that, requires a lot more responsibility to the outside. To the outside, it seems like more responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But then for me, when I think about it, it's just like, oh no, it's just more things I have to learn and adapt to in order to do whatever job well. I just need to incorporate some things, either work on my communication. I need to work on my hand-eye coordination, whether it's like, adapting to the competition. I can't be lazy when I'm backpedaling. I can't be lazy when I turn my hip. I can't just ignore the small things when I'm talking to my fellow team members. And now that I'm a higher role, I have to make sure that the vision is clear of what we're trying to do here. Like, you see some people move up to maybe a higher level, like they were a regular associate, or you were in college D1, and then you go to the NFL, or you go the CFL or the IFL or these another league where the competition is obviously a little bit more higher because not everybody makes the team, even though you might have shared a similar story. You see people like level up, and then it was like hard to get there, or it was hard to adapt. They failed a few times, went through anxiety, went through every emotion to get to that next step. And then they finally get there. They're getting accustomed. They get comfortable, and then they just stay there. And then you see the other people that climb to that spot, stressed out, went through all the emotions as well, but then they're like, oh no, we're not done here. And then they go up to another spot, and they just keep going until whatever destination it is when it comes to like pursuing the next level up, whether in a passion or in a career. Like for you, what keeps you keeping going up in competition and adapting when you see others are just comfortable at that spot?
Well, it starts off from the foundation. If you don't have a foundation of already wanting to get better, you're not going to have those desires. You're going to be complacent. Like, if your mindset was, if my mindset was like, when I was a kid, I want to play arena ball, right? That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But once I get there, it is what it is. But when I was young, when I was a kid, I was thinking NFL. I want to play in the NFL. I want to be one of the greats in the NFL. So I got to work for that. You know what I'm saying? And, stuff pan out. I end up, there's steps to be made, undrafted. Okay. I'm going to play an arena. I want to play arena. I want to go to CFL if I have to, CFL, or if I go to CFL, I want to go to NFL. That's the ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? I want to have a career in the NFL. So, and constantly wanting to get better regardless, whether if I'm getting stronger, whether I'm getting faster, there's always an aspect of growth. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to stop. It doesn't matter if I'm a rookie, how I am now, or if I'm 8 years in, there's always going to be growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter how long, even if I'm like, okay, I'm in the IFL for longer than I expect. Doesn't matter. Just enjoy the ride. And once I go up, work to get a bump up again. You know what I'm saying? Always got to improve. You got to keep improving. So I think it all starts from the foundation. Like for other people, like if your foundation isn't to where, your work, you want to get better, you want to grow, you want to, grind, then you're not going to have that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. Damn, I was thinking about it right now too. I was thinking about like some of the things that, because I like to like simplify things to make it simple, to reduce the noise, reduce me getting in my way or stopping me from doing things. And I was like, some of the things that I really want to do, I can't put a number on it, but like one of them is I want to service people, which is like help people, whether it's inspiring people, giving them like a different perspective, a different light. Because you see in the world, like everything's a lot of based on fear, like the news, what you see on social media, the fear of missing out, investments, the people around you, like a lot of things are based on fear. And so I always like to give like a more optimistic view of doing things. And like, because sometimes people that do move in fear are successful as well. Like there's some people that use, negative emotions, anger, and put that towards, motivating themselves to get a job done and create greatness through that. Like the Michael Jordans, like you see like Michael Jordan's mindset and LeBron's mindset are completely different. Like they're almost on the same path or at the same path almost. LeBron is a GOAT in my mind, but like I gravitate more towards like LeBron's philosophy, like when it comes to like family, helping inspire people, doing something that you love that feels like play, and just pursuing that. I was thinking about that for me. It's like I feel so far when it comes to my mindset, because I feel like you could say, oh yeah, I'm rich. Yeah, I'm rich because I got money. But for me, like I heard it in a Russ song, he was like, yeah, I'm rich. He's like, I'm not rich when it comes to money. I'm rich on the quality of like of my soul. Like that's what I think about when I think about rich, or somebody who is like genuinely happy individual, optimistic. Yeah, they go through life and go through every emotion still, because we're human. Like every single person that you see goes through every single emotion as well. Some cope differently. Some have different strategies to manage that stress. Like for me, I feel like everybody has stress. Like some's physical stress, some is mental stress trying to get to the level, or stress could be frustration. That's like stress isn't just like, it's not panning out the way you want, or you're trying to pursue it and it's not working. Like it's also frustration, anger, jealousy, envy, like maybe these emotions that people don't work through. And for me, it's like I always like to simplify things and make it simple, so then I can get to the next spot faster. Like I'm trying to I try to put myself in the most optimal position where I don't have to stress out, and I can just do things solely without having to listen to those doubts, because I'm still like working on that. I still have those doubts. Like things don't come in easy. Every day I have to like try to have these like affirmations for myself. Like if somebody tries to project their negative energy, and it reminds me of an auntie I had in the past, or a conversation I had when I was like 7 years old with my mom. They told me this and it clicked. So I still go through those cycles where I have to remind myself that people are still, like if somebody says something to me negative or tests my idea of what I'm trying to do or what I am doing, I have to remind myself, like, these affirmations of, well, this person's hurt. This person has been doing the same thing for years, lost, goes out and parties all day or does this all day. And that's how they get by life without being pursuing their passions. And this person is just projecting, their limitations onto me. I'm in my own world. I have to make sure I stay on like tunnel vision, stay on my path, because I know what I really want to do. But sometimes people like distract you. So then it's like, okay, keep it simple. Understand how people are. Understand who you are and where you're trying to go. And then try to put yourself in the best position, because there's going to be a lot of noise. But you really just have to focus on like what's the end game? Like what is it that you're trying to do here in this world while you can?
No, that's facts. That's most definitely facts. And it's like it seems like the majority of people are like that. Like it seems like what 3 out of 4 people that you'll meet are like that, and how like project the most. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, like that's why I'm so like I'll be so like grateful and happy when I meet someone who is in the mindset like a mindset like you, or a mindset of like, a couple of my other boys. You know what I'm saying? Like basically a growth mindset, open mindset, and it's driving and trying to build something for themselves and for their families. You know what I'm saying? And trying to be that light for their people. You know what I'm saying? So, it's definitely respectable, and it's tough blocking out that noise, bro, because it's always gonna be noise. It's always gonna be hate. It's hard like distinguishing between like hate and people genuinely trying to give you advice, well, not, I wouldn't say necessarily hard, but it's weird distinguishing between the two, because it's like, bro, if you haven't been close to my shoes or in my shoes, like, bro, you can't tell me what I should do. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's people that have told you like, hey, bro, you should do this with the podcast, or hey, bro, you should do this like with whatever you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or with me, like, oh, bro, like, I don't think you should play arena. You should try to go do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, you've never played sports in your life. Like, why are you trying to tell me what I should do?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, like, arena, like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to do it. It's not worth your body. Like, get it? Yeah. I'm having a good ass time while I'm doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
like, you never know. Like, your limitations aren't the same as mine.
Mm-hmm.
Your fears are not mine. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
like, it, and for someone that maybe they weren't in my shoes, but maybe they do have knowledge on the subject, I'll listen. Or if they are older, like OG that's shooting game, like, I'll listen, bro. But if you're the same guy sitting on your couch, fucking smoking cigarettes, eating Doritos, you're trying to tell me like how to move, like, when it comes to this football shit, it's like, bro, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, I'm straight. Like, I have a good ass mentor. My pops, like, probably one of the best mentors I've ever had. You know what I'm saying? And like, and quiet as it's kept, he's never like, what, like, even when I was young, he always was like, bro, you don't have to play sports if you don't want to. You don't have to play football if you don't want to. Like, as long as you do what you're happy, do something that you're happy about. Like, bro, like, you could do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's legal. You feel me? But
right.
But yeah, like, that definitely, I can say that definitely like takes a lot of stress off of it. Like, okay, I can really, like, if I wanted to hoop, I could have just hooped. You know what I'm saying? But like, definitely, like, having him, blocking out the noise, and him already warning me about people, like, hating and doing all that stuff, like, whatever what I'm doing. Even if I was like a businessman, like, say you open up your own car spot, there's gonna be people that judge and have something to say about it. People always got something to say about something they ain't got their hand in. You feel me? So I think that, like, the right people giving you advice with the right intentions, it's cool to take advice. But if someone's giving you advice on something they know nothing about and didn't know research, they just, hey, you should do this or this or that or about your podcast, or you should do this or that about your business or whatever you're doing. It's like, bro, like, I hear you, but just because I hear you doesn't mean I'm gonna take your advice.
Yeah, man. How important is it? Cause you just mentioned it. How important is it to have your father as a mentor?
It's really big, bro. I feel like, especially when in like times of need, like, when it comes to like just life in general, like, he's definitely been like a someone that's kept me like level headed. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I get hot headed at times and stuff. Like, I don't think, I just try to act, or I act out of like emotion or aggression, and he keeps me level. Like, bro, like, don't even worry about it. Like, yeah, I just keep working, whoop. And it's helped me like mold me to how I am right now. It's big, because I don't know how I would have been, without him, or without him in my life. So it's definitely really beneficial to have him. It's like having like, like I was saying before, like having like best friends that are like open-minded, positive-minded, like influence, like that can influence you, motivate you. It's super critical, because like if you have all negative people around you, what do you think you're gonna be? So it's super beneficial, and I'm really grateful for like my dad, my mom, even my brothers, sisters, and stuff like that. Like, everyone definitely has done, especially my pops, have done a great job with helping me out and being that light for me.
That's so dope too. That's what I was thinking too. Cause I started realizing more, it's like how important it is to have like a mentor. Like, I have a mentor at work, And then like I have people that I like look up to, not look up to, but I have people that I like take things from, like you, my dad, even people that are maybe quote unquote have still things they need to work through. I always like to pick the good in people. Like, how is it? Like, let's say there's like a weakness that I feel that I have that I want to strengthen, and somebody else has it. I try to like ask them questions. Like, kind of this podcast, like a lot of questions I ask you are selfishly for me. Like, but I know it helps other people too because a lot of people share the same things that I go through or that you went through, or emotions and like, you know, past trauma or things that makes that other people do easy, but sometimes for you it's so hard to do. So like I always ask questions from other people and try to seek mentors without, it's not like I ask somebody to be a mentor, right? Like it's kind of weird. It kind of naturally goes that way because you see somebody's in the position that you want to be. So you ask questions like, how'd you get this? How'd you get there? Like when this happens, how do you deal with this confrontation? And how would you handle a situation like this? More professional, less emotional, more logical? Like the importance of having a mentor is like absolutely needed to get to that next step, or you seek out, look and learn from like other people's experiences, but then also from your own experiences, put that together, and then you'll learn to adapt faster to get to that position where you really want to be at.
Yeah, facts. So who is somebody for you? Because I know you're the oldest of 9. I know how hard that probably was, you know, especially not having no one to learn from. Because me personally, I'm the youngest of 7. So I had, you know, 7 siblings, and, you know, to learn from, you know, their mistakes, you know, my older brother, Robert, you know, Jordan, you know, and all my sisters. So it's like learning from them, seeing, you know, their mistakes and seeing the stuff they were successful in, and being able to sit back and be like, okay, maybe I should go this way, because if I go through that door, I seen 4 of my siblings go through that door, didn't end well. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
who was somebody for you that helps you and guided you in a way, you know, no matter if it was way back when you were younger or now, that guided you in a way that, you know, proved to be beneficial?
So I can briefly, as of right now, that got me to this point where I am currently is myself. Like, since I didn't have nobody or didn't know that that was a way that people kind of was helped to mold them to who they are, I had to like see from the people around me, like, 'cause the people around me like made a lot of mistakes. Like my family certain people in my life would make a lot of mistakes. A lot of jealousy was involved, envy, money, opportunist is the type of family that I had around me a lot that I remember. Like I would always just see arguments or pettiness with money involved, and how people would change a lot with money and this attachment. And then I learned from watching that was like, you know what, I never want to be like that. Like I never want to do somebody this way because of getting $5. And when I could have got $10, I, you know, decided to share the money, and I get 5, you get 5. But people like that I grew up with in my family like would take the whole $10. And then it's like I have family that would steal your phone and then help you look for it. Like, and so from seeing that and then having it happen to me, and then me taking it super personally at that time, and then learning from the experiences of them and how they did things, all wrong, by the way. Like, I realized, like, I don't ever want to be like that. Like, I don't want to do this to people. Like, it doesn't feel good to me. And then you see how they are in their life, and they're, you know, moving from men to men, woman to woman, problems, you know, kids here and there, and they're in jail or in and out, and they don't have communication with their siblings, and they're always doing, like, these negative things, toxic things. I was like, fuck that. Like, I was like, I see what it's doing to them. I definitely don't want that to go to me. And so I just felt like I had to put it on myself. I had to create what I wanted and who I wanted to help me when I didn't have that. So I kind of started studying like people that I liked, the Ray Lewis. Like, I don't know why, like, it's so random. I always pick like random people. Obviously I was playing football a lot in my life, like in my younger years. So like I would kind of look in that realm. So I would look at like the Ray Lewis, the Tony Gonzalez. I would look at you know, like the Troy Aikmans, the Adrian Petersons, LeBron James in basketball, the Dwayne Wades. And then I would also look into like philosophers, and I would look at like Alan Watts, like a British philosopher. I would look at investors like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Don Miguel Ruiz, which is from the Toltec Wisdom, the guy who wrote the Four Agreements. Like I would study these people, and I would try to see like some of the things to then because I felt I wanted to be this person. Like I want to be the person that I need the most in my most vulnerable times, which is a lot when I was younger. Because that's why I always moved at the beat of my own drum. But sometimes I don't know where I was going a lot. I was just kind of hitting the wall, and then, oh shit, turn around. I'd open the door. It's another door to a brick wall. Like I had to figure it out with myself, make my own mistakes, do all the things that I learned from like my family, seeing what they did, to then me realize like I started doing it to like the person who I was with. So I would start to realize like some of the things that was causing trouble around my family, I started then doing to my family. And I was like, wait. This is not what I'm trying to do. This isn't really showing love, and doesn't even feel good. So I would kind of like realize to myself some of the things that I was doing that I was taught from the people who I tried not to be the most of. Sometimes you end up being all the worst things that, you know, the people around you did, and subconsciously you start doing it. So like, I started doing that. I was like, oh shit. And I had to like reflect, look back. And that's kind of like what started that journey of like where I am now, like so different from like a lot of people. People always telling me like, you know, I'd make sure I don't let it feed the ego, because like I have to make sure I stay level-headed and humble, because I got so much to learn. Like I don't know nothing. Like I'm still learning a lot of shit. So I have to make sure that I stay grounded, because I still got a lot more to learn. I got a lot more to do. I got a lot of things I'm working through. And doing that helped me be the person who I am right now. And when it comes to like the professional side of things, like that was me personally, like how I think, how I take care of myself, something that you can't push me now. Like the wind's not going to blow me. Like I know what I'm here for now. Now it's just doubling down on it. And professionally, when it comes to even communicating even better, was my supervisor currently right now. Shout out Shirley. I know she watches the podcast too. And she like actually helped me get the more professional side of things, and like making the right sacrifices, the way you look at it. It's all about like your perspective of like talking to associates, you know, coming from a good place, not looking at people like numbers, but as regular human, and try to do everything you can to try to help people, because, you know, life does suck. Life gets in the way for certain people. It might be easy for me to do something, and it might be hella harder for them to do something. So it's like I try to offer a light, a window. I try to like have like a helping hand, and she's taught me so far right now, like professionally, in growing that department, like a CEO, like a business, and the business analytics, and when it comes to, you know, making the proper margins and the return of investment and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. And to wrap up, one more question I have for you is, you know, with all these things that happen to you, because that's, you know, that's pretty tough, you know, family, doing those type of things, you know, and really treating, you know, family like they're not family, like, you know, and, you know, some of that stuff rubbing off on you, and you treating like other people like the same way. Like, how is it with, you know, those family members that treated you like that? Is there like, you know, do you hold any grudges, or is it just kind of like, okay, you guys over there, I'm over here, we're cool, but, you know, just, you know, leave me alone? Or is it just like, okay, that was in the past, like we're moving on from now?
I believe like it was at that time, and I don't know if they're that same person, because I was at a point where I don't need to know that. Like I had to accept the fact like they are who they are, and where I'm trying to go doesn't match with them, and who I'm trying to be, I can't be around those people. So I had to keep my space, create that distance, and I haven't seen them since then, and nor do I even like want to either. Not because I have like a grudge, or like maybe I have hate towards them or nothing like that. It's just like, you know, and they could be maybe at the same energy that I would like somebody to be with me, so I can hang out with them and be around them. They might be the way I am now too, but I think I'm just at a point where I have, and the people who have stuck with me and has been here, that's enough. I don't really need to seek, acceptance from them, or like I need to amend something, or I don't need their apology. Like I will always accept their apology. Like I understand and I get it at that time and how they were thinking. And who am I to judge them? They were going through their own things. Imagine how their life was. When you look at somebody that causes a lot of harm, just imagine what people did to them to bring them to be like that. So I had to just accept the fact of they are who they are. I do keep my space, but not like I'm trying to do it. Like naturally, just because I had to separate myself. Like I have the people around me, the people who I love and love me, and that's all I need now. So now I just stay in that circle. And if I see them down the street, I will always show love. Like, oh, damn, it's been years. Like, how have you guys been? That's good to hear. But if they're like, oh, we should go hang out, like, I would kindly say no. Like, no, I'm good. Like, thank you. I'm just happy to see you. I wish you the best. I hope the family's okay. And then I'll just keep my life going.
Yeah, facts. You're definitely better than me.
Yeah, took me a while,
especially with that. Like, I don't like that feeling of like, especially in a situation. I know the situation you guys were in, like someone to, take someone in and then something happened, I can't, that would rub me the wrong way. Cause, with my brother, Robert, it was different for him because, things were involved, obviously he wasn't in his right mind and stuff like that. But, dealing with stuff like that in the family, like the stealing, the lying, all that stuff, like I'm just, like I'm so distant. Like when it comes to that, I get so distant and I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't even want to think. I don't even think about you. Like I just want you to take your space, I'll take mine, and let's just, let's just keep our distance. You know what I'm saying? That's just better off. You feel me? But everybody has their different ways of dealing with stuff like that. But yeah, man, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode, brother. And I appreciate you for opening up and giving us, some insight on, how you think about things and how you go through the process. And I'm really starting to get comfortable with this, the podcasting thing. And it's definitely, from the feedback we're getting, the people we're getting to message us, follow us, subscribe on the TikTok too. Like it's crazy. Like it's crazy how many people we're influencing and motivating, and it's gonna continue to grow. So we appreciate you guys, and we thank you for tapping in with us on Self Relations Podcast.